Let's take a break from our busy schedules to chill out and pop a few red pills together tonight. So, I've got a story to share from an experience in the gym yesterday, and it's one that made me crack up and realize once again why I'm going MGTOW and staying red pill as if I needed any more reasons to go that way, and it's along the lines of the gym thought, the gym bro and blue pill mistakes men make on a micro level all the way up to a macro level. I'll start with the micro level. I'm sure that going to the gym, fitness, diet, and health are important to many of you guys. Maybe that's not important to you, but it goes hand in hand with MGTOW. A lot of times, and I'm sure that many people aren't that way either, but that's okay. But I know that it always has been an important thing in my life to work out and to maintain health, and it's an important thing that needs to be discussed, and it's the purpose of working out. Many people believe that chasing after women is the point of working out, but we don't see it that way. Many men lose the motivation to stay in shape once they are no longer interested in pursuing women. Therefore, I spent the evening before at the gym. I had been working throughout the day on a Sunday, and it was now the evening. I was working on some content for YouTube at the time, and later that night I was going to have to get started on an assignment for my master's thesis. I was just like, I need to get in here. I just need to work up a good sweat to center myself mentally and help eliminate and lessen the stress that's in my head and on my body. Exercising helps your mind slow down in many different ways, and it also helps you sleep better, which enables you to succeed in all aspects of life. Going to the gym and working out isn't just about getting more in shape, getting ripped, and getting chicks. It also helps you succeed in all aspects of life. When we lived in societies and economies that were dependent on manual labor, such as the ones in which we once lived and farmed, our normal daily lives were already filled with enough of it that we did not need to supplement our days with additional physical activity in the form of going to the gym. This is not the primary or only reason that the gym came into existence. This is not something that occurs naturally, but I do consider it a form of mental release and use it as such at the moment. I am more concerned with maintaining my physical health and the upkeep, also known as keeping going in regards to my health, than I am with making gains in order to obtain those supplements. Going to shell out a significant amount of money for whey protein and creatine. I'm not quite there yet. For the time being, I'm just going to aim to hit the gym 3 or 4 times per week. I was planning on performing a full body workout, including some incline presses, some dynamic abdominal workouts, pull-ups, some dumbbell rows, and front squats, but there were only about 4 other men in the gym at the time. I was working on my front squats in this cramped weight room, while using a dumbbell loaded with 95 pounds. I really wanted to do some deadlifts or power cleans, but the other guy was using the only platform that was available in the gym at the time, so I couldn't. Instead, I did front squats with the dumbbell in order to make sure that I got my metabolism going. There's this girl, can we talk about her? She might be 19 or 20 years old. I'm 24. She approaches me and tells me that the way I was performing the squats is going to cause me to injure myself in the near future. Certainly, it's possible that I was on my toes an excessive amount, my heels an insufficient amount, my back an insufficient amount, my core an insufficient amount, or whatever else people might say. Placing an excessive amount of strain on my lower back. Not good, right? She wants to be of assistance to me and show me how I should be squatting. I don't spend nearly as much time in the gym as I used to, and my primary goal now is to maintain my functionality while minimizing the risk of injury. That is completely acceptable and acceptable with that. I really appreciate that. It is awesome in every way. I appreciatively thanked her for it. That's fine if you wanted to point that out, because I don't always see myself in my squat form, but this is what she says, and she begins this rant, and in so many words I realize who this woman is. That's fine if you wanted to point that out. What the F are you doing? She yells at me. Do you really understand where you're going with this? What are you putting your body through? You are going to severely injure your back. All right, put the weight back on the scale. What exactly are you carrying? 95. What the hell are you trying to accomplish? Are you insane? Put that in its place. Even if you could lift half of that, you shouldn't be doing it. What the heck is wrong with you? She takes it from being constructive and helpful to thinking that she's going to get a power trip off of this, so she lectures me for the next 5 minutes and then goes on to observe me from the side and proceeds to clap when I do the lift as she thought I should do it. Okay, demeaning language, okay, right there. She takes it from being constructive and helpful to thinking that she's going to get a power trip off of this. Unbelievable. After finishing that, I move on to doing incline presses with free weight style with the bar, and then I do a couple back splits because, as you probably already know, you need to do twice as much pulling as pushing. However, in the middle of my back row and pull-up, she walks over to me, interrupts what I'm doing, and tells me to switch to a different exercise. It's not a strenuous workout, and it doesn't get my entire body moving, which is what I aim to achieve with my workouts. It's a movement known as an ISO. My lats are being worked, but she just stands there and watches me do it, which interrupts my workout and wastes my time. After that, she suggests 3 more exercises that aren't as taxing, and I just ignore her and move on. I am the same as this. I can't take this anymore, and right before she leaves, she says, "Oh, this guy who is standing in a different area of the gym makes fun of me all the time because I walk around the gym giving instructions to other people on what they should be doing. They say things like, I'm a gym hero because I, help people out all the time because I walk into these gyms and I literally can't figure out what these people are doing. And things like that. It completely blows my mind. I used to be employed at a fitness center. I tell her my workout goals and I tell her that I'm not interested in doing those workouts that you described to me try to pull downs and saw their small ISO movements, and I tell her that I want to focus on going to the gym to sweat and get a full body workout instead. I tell her that I would rather do pull-ups and isolate movements, but she responds by saying that she is unsure whether or not she can even perform a single pull-up, and then she asks me if I am aware of the location of my lats. I mean, it's unbelievable. And then she tells me, you'll never get big. I don't even know what to say. Okay, I tell her, I don't want to get big. I just don't have the time for that right now. It makes no difference to me because it does not contribute to the enhancement of my life or the expansion of my freedom. I just want to get my body moving so she won't talk to me the rest of the time I'm in there, and thank goodness, a few minutes later, there's this huge guy who played college football and is probably 6 feet 3 inches tall and 240 pounds. She approaches me and says that she tried to tell me what to do, just like she did with me when I was performing dumbbell shrugs, and that she tried to tell you what to do. Okay, so earlier in the workout, I saw this guy repping 285 on the bench, which means he could probably post 335, and this girl who claimed she couldn't even do one pull-up was giving him advice on how to train. So, I get that technique is different than weight, but to me, this still doesn't add up. And so, with that as a background, let's get into what I gleaned from this. First and foremost, before I go any further, I want to recognize that maybe there are some women listening to this. I doubt it, but if there are, I'm not telling you not to go to the gym. I'm just saying that technique is different than weight. You really ought to start going to the gym. Everyone should take care of their body, look after themselves, and try to improve their lives in some way, and it's great that you do, but treat it like a place where you respect people rather than for a power trip. Everyone should take care of their body, look after themselves, and try to improve their lives in some way. It doesn't matter if you're a guy or a girl. This critique applies to both men and women who behave in this manner. Number 2, her shaming of my take for not looking big or trying to get big, or at least her assumption that that is what my goal should be, is off-kilter and indicates the blue pill white knight society we live in. And number 3, my criticisms of the gym bro, because there is another part to this story. This guy who works out at the gym makes a pass at her, which highlights the precarious nature of the situation. To begin, let me say that I have nothing against women who exercise. I am against people's egos, and I am against people's egos that tell other people how to do things. This is one of the reasons that we are going MGTOW. Therefore, I want to know if the girl is aware of my objectives. Does she have any idea what it is that I hope to accomplish by the time I finish this workout? She is not aware of it. She has no idea that I'm extremely busy and that I've already accomplished a lot of my goals, including the ones that came long before working out and mastering the perfect squat form. She doesn't know these things at all, but she believes that she does, and that's the problem. This is not a video shaming women that don't know how to lift weights, because honestly, in today's society and with androgyny rife, there are many women out there that know how to lift weights better and stay in better shape than a lot of men, and women are getting less and less feminine in nature and praised more and more for warrior status. So is that what you mean? Is that the way that we are predisposed to be by nature? Although I don't necessarily believe that to be the case, it is the case, and what I'm going to get here is yet another illustration of why men go MGTOW. In general, there are people in our lives, whether they are family members or people that we have dated or been married to. In some cases, these people may even be the same people that are going to define the way in which we live and that are going to try to take away the purpose behind the things that we pursue and replace them with a substitute that does not fit the bill. This is just a metaphor for that. And when I go to the gym, my goal is not to get my triceps game on fleek and get cuts at the edges of each muscle so that I can pose on a stage. Perhaps this girl is, but in all honesty, she was no better than a 4 in my book. She gave the impression of trying to pull off the Beats headphone look. She had a lot of eyeliner and makeup on, actually reeked of weed, had tattoos, and had goals and a view of the gym that I didn't have. So why would I listen to what she had to say? I'm a brother in the MGTOW first and foremost. Working out is just a way for me to get better at the things that are really going to add up to my freedom, which is the ultimate goal. Right now, I'm responding to emails and making videos even ahead of my graduate studies and work at times because this is what I'm passionate about. You never stop working toward one objective. And the thing is that it's crazy to think about this, but performing pull-ups rather than a stupid standard bicep curl workout factors more into your ultimate objective. also known as your end game. The kind of lift you perform at the gym, even if it's just one little rep, has some bearing on the way you want your life to turn out in the end. It's crazy to think about that, but it's true, so don't discredit that, and don't let anyone, regardless of who they are, tell you that you need to study biology or economics instead of studying what you really wanted to study, which was possibly finance, business, or engineering. It's crazy to think about that, but it's true, so don't discredit that. Also, don't let anyone tell you that you need to study biology or economics instead of studying do whatever it is that makes you happy. I heard it while I was at work today when one of the girls that I supervised was getting into a fight with her mom on the phone, and afterwards she lashed out and threw her frustration out towards us, expressing how she was being forced to study business when she didn't actually have any interest in it at all. And once again, men, the reason that we go MGTOW is because we realize that our life is finite. I heard it when one of the girls that I supervised was getting we don't have much time, and the last thing we need is for some dictatorial figure from 1984 to intrude into our lives and steal that time from us. We talk about avoiding wives and girlfriends because in most cases, this is what stands in the way of us doing what we want to do. It is not the intention of this to belittle them in any way. That is not what it is intended to do. They want us to do curls instead of pull-ups, so just do the pull-ups, okay? The reason we are supposed to bash them in certain circumstances is because they want us to only pay attention to the advice of those who have your best interests at heart, like she did when she was concentrating on the things that really mattered, like my form while I was squatting. So keep in mind that this is a metaphor, and the second common misunderstanding concerns the reasons why people go to the gym. And in what sense should they go to the gym in order to get ready for White Night? And if you told the majority of men in gyms across the United States, say nearly 100 of them, that you're never going to get laid again and no woman is ever going to think you're attractive, I can promise you that you will never get laid again. There would be a precipitous decline in the body and bodybuilding industry, a complete collapse in the health industry, the elimination of any need for dietary supplements, and a complete absence of men in gyms performing the lifts that are necessary to display their show muscles. This is the case because, first and foremost, the motivation for many men in Western culture to go to the gym is the desire to find a mate and to really raise their sexual marketplace value in comparison to women. This is something that they didn't necessarily have to worry about when they were warriors, when they were farming, and when they were working outside logging and doing those kinds of things. This is why going to the gym has become so popular among men in Western culture. They are aware that women are drawn to brawn because it represents health and the ability to protect them both, as well as the ability to procure resources for him to keep himself alive when working and in battle, and because that will mean our future children will be safeguarded to ensure they have healthy genes, and the man will be attending the gym because he understands the importance of taking care of his body. The MGTOW man takes special precautions to ensure that he lives a full and happy life for as long as possible so that he can assist others in doing the same. His primary goal is to ensure that gym culture in the Western world, which is preoccupied with the appearance of human attractiveness rather than anything of substance or significance, does not perpetuate the myth that men do not exist. This girl has the impression that my primary objective in the gym is to increase my muscle mass. It's not, and just so you know, I'm 5 feet 11 inches tall and 175 pounds. My body type is ectomorphic. It wasn't easy for me to get to that size. The most I can bench press is about 225, and the most I can deadlift is about 335. I'm not this huge dude, and I never will be, and I just want to take care of myself and refresh my mind, but not in the mind of a person living in the Matrix, not in the mind of a man blowing money on new supplements each week so that he can chisel out his body even more and get on that beach diet for the summer, which means tearing through all kinds of chicks frequently. I just want to take care of myself and refresh my mind. I can't really dispute what you're doing, but gyms are wearing white knights and blue pill men get their wings and they spread them out. If you're doing it because it does bring you money and because it brings you more freedom, then I can't really dispute what you're doing. They regain their self-assurance, which allows them to shine, and in their minds, they are now hunting. The MGTOW guy you see at the gym is there to get his function on. He is not functioning properly. By going there, he is once again playing the long game, and that is why you see so many men get the dad bod when they want to get married. They never understand the true motivation behind going to the gym. He is playing the long game. I'm not trying to bulk up in the way that she believes I ought to be thinking about it. There are going to be girls like this who are so caught up in their own egos and matrices that they will assume the boys have to go to the gym in order to get them. Since she's a dime and she could take selfies and tell men how to work out, and the gym only first existed because we've created this corporate desk job world, that is it, and free finally, dude. What the heck are you doing? There's this guy in the gym who was standing behind her the whole time. Therefore, he had the appearance of a typical college frat boy. He began a process of cutting his hair. He is not even close to being that tall. He does this by acting arrogant and cocky. When I walked in, he was on the squat rack, and he was talking to this chick off and on for the first 10 or 15 minutes after I got talked to by this girl. He looks like the kind of guy who would always have chicks on deck due to the way he walks around and holds himself, as well as the fact that his facial hair has finally been manicured. She then approaches him and begins a conversation with him that lasts for the next hour or so. As a result, he receives very little attention at the squat rack, and it appears that the two of them have exchanged contact information. I don't know what they do, what they're doing, whatever it is, doesn't matter, and I'm sure that he is looking up to her to set some sort of sexual encounter going forward and on the schedule. I don't know what they do, what they're doing, whatever it is, doesn't matter. I can't say for sure, but I have a strong suspicion that he's more keen on her than on me. I can't say for sure, but I have a strong suspicion. I really have no idea. She creates the impression that she is constantly going to the gym. Maybe they've got a fitness couple thing coming so that he doesn't look around and see the chick that he wants running around and telling other men what to do and ordering them around as if they've never seen a weight before. This will prevent him from looking around and seeing her. Therefore, it would appear that he does not care, even if he is planning to pump and dump her. Because this girl has a history of being violent, he ought not to give her the time of day at all. She's off her rocker. It seemed as if she had just taken a hit of cocaine, as if her eyes had been illuminated by its blaze. I'm not even kidding you. If you have sex with this girl, even just once, you infect your entire body and create a chemical bond with this chick that is Luciferian. I swear she had that type of way of speaking and looking in her eyes in men. If you have sex with this girl, even just once, you infect your entire body and create a chemical bond with this chick that is Luciferian. We say that women are the attention seekers, and they are, but a man getting attention when he doesn't have grounding in himself is brought to his knees as well because he wants to bring her to her knees in the long run. That's all he wants. And that's the kind of gym bro that we see today. When you get the attention from a woman, you immediately go into blue pill mode, and we say that women are the attention seekers, and they are. But a man getting attention, the man who pushes all of the warning signs to the side and wants instead to push her underwear to the side is the one in question. It's risky, guys, and just because she's treating other guys at the gym the way she is and she isn't treating you the way she's treating the other guys right now doesn't mean that she won't treat you the way she's treating the other guys in the future. Do the same thing to your gym bros. Okay, so this is also in opposition to what they believe. I'm not singling out any girls in this group. It can be interpreted both ways. They are just as much of a threat to MGTOW as well, so be on the lookout for them and try not to fall for the illusion that there is a scarcity of resources. She was the only girl in the weight room at the time, and even if you're the only one in there for an hour when you're only around one girl and that's the only girl in the gym, and that's only your only reference point, it can be intimidating. Perhaps it was you in a specific lesson that you took while you were in school. You base everything off of that one girl. She is the standard, even though she is not attractive. And it is the example of scarcity that has been created and accepted by a microenvironment. Do not let yourself be led astray by such a fallacy. It is both risky and narrow-minded. Therefore, men of today, this is about going your own way from people who give orders that don't apply to you, remembering why we are doing things that we are doing as MGTOW men and the lies that reproduction and the false sense of societal status and meaning have told us, and putting reality back in our eyes and not succumbing to the blue pill white knight gym bro that is dominating America and who wouldn't be at the gym if it weren't for the fact that he can pound some weight. Workouts are beneficial for women. I'm not bashing women in the gym. I'm bashing people who tell you that you need to do tricep extensions when you actually need to do deadlifts because your mind isn't really at the gym. It's good for them personally and especially as they get into relationships because many men and women lose their health once that happens. And while I'm not bashing women in the gym, I am bashing people who tell you that you need to do tricep extensions when you actually need to. It is at that final destination off into the distance 30 years down the road when you are free. And that is the reason why we make simple decisions like this every day, guys.